Hi guys, it's Kate again. I still have far too many library books, and last time we did a library book tasting, I ended up deciding to keep all three of them. I will say one of them that I decided to keep, I ended up reading more of and DNF'd it, so that went back. That was I Gave You Eyes and You Look Toward Darkness. It was just a lot darker than the first chapter or so revealed. So I decided to choose three books again. I'll read the first few pages to a chapter of them, see how I'm feeling about them, let you guys know, and ultimately decide whether or not to send it back to the library unread, or if I should go ahead and keep it. So the first book is Needle Lake by Justine Champine. I don't know much about this one. This is one that's new at the library and it looked interesting to me. I'm trying to read and try more literary fiction. This one is about two cousins who are coming of age. One of them, she's disabled. The other one's more adventuresome, but really respects her. And they just have this close-knit relationship. But then a murder happens. And so they have some secrets they're keeping. I don't know if one of them was involved in the murder or not. I actually really don't know what's going to happen. So that's exciting. But it's really about adolescence and girlhood. And it sounds pretty interesting. Okay, so that was very interesting. The first thing I noticed was that it was dedicated to autistic girls everywhere. And it really makes me wonder, is our main character autistic? Is her cousin the autistic one? Are they both? So that's very interesting. It's also set in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I grew up. So I'm really excited to have that feel. The country store they work at in this and own is already reminding me of the general store I went to as a kid in my small town. So yeah, I think I'll continue to read this. Hopefully it doesn't get too weird or anything, but it sounds really interesting. So I'm excited. This next one is one, I actually saw the sequel to it in Barnes & Noble and was like, ooh, that looks interesting. And then I realized it was a sequel. So then when I saw the first book at the library, I had to grab it. This is Woman's Hotel by Daniel M. Lavery. And I don't know a ton about it, but it's kind of a slice of life story, just a lot of characters and their lives overlapping and interacting. I just love looking at the cover. If you look at each window, there's something a little different about the ones with curtains. There's like different plants. There's a dress hanging in the window. It's just super interesting. And I think it might remind me of that cozy feel of Only Murders in the Building. I've also heard that it's really, really funny. The man who wrote it is like a newspaper columnist. So I'm thinking it'll have an interesting style to it. So I'm excited to give it a try. Well, that was interesting. I'm actually a little skeptical, and I always feel that way when it's a book about women written by a man. He was talking about how women's hotels were kind of like had a short period in history, and he was saying, they weren't needed long because of feminism or because premarital cohabitation was, normalized. And it just made me feel a little bit nervous that he thought feminism was a bad thing. I have no way of knowing that at all. But sometimes just the way men talk about women is not, even if they think they're being, polite, it's just not the same as if it was written by a woman. So I'm not really sure about this one. I could give it a chance, but I have so many library books right now that I'm thinking I'll pass on this one for now. And if I'm interested, I can always check it out again. So, yeah. The last one in this book tasting is Distant Telepaths by Timothy Zahn. And, it looks like he won a Hugo Award, which is an award for sci-fi. And usually means the book's pretty good. But this one was such an interesting concept. There's a group of people who are telepathically connected, and when they get too close to each other, the mental pressure is deadly, I believe. So they're a tight-knit group, but they can never be super near each other. And then apparently one of them is murdered and the others know about it. And that kind of changes the rules of how they interact. I don't know if maybe they need to get together to solve it, or if they're solving it from a distance. But I really love the concept of telepathy, and so I'm excited to give this a try. I don't know if it's part of a series or not, since this author writes so much. But I'm willing to give it a shot as a standalone. And if I like it, then it looks like he's got more books I can read. So yeah. Okay, I am very intrigued. Just the way the telepathy works, they can hear people's thoughts. If they're really close, if they're a little bit farther away, they can choose to listen or not. And then with their fellow telepaths, they can hear them miles away. And they call it calling each other. And they have this whole community, and apparently the one who was murdered is the leader of their community, so they're trying to figure out what to do about that. But then the main character started having some questions about how he was murdered. If he can hear people's thoughts, how was someone able to sneak up on him? So I am really, really intrigued. It looks like it's 4 stories written over a long period of time that connect to the different telepaths. So yeah, I think I will definitely be reading this one. I hope to enjoy it. Always love a good sci-fi, and this one seems really creative. So there you go. That's my 3 library books for this book tasting. We've decided to keep 2 and eliminate 1. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye.